Do you want to build your personal brand, enhance your glamour, increase your popularity, and become more famous? Get Found Fast for the Glamorous teaches you how with your hosts Chelse, Benham, and Keith Keller. Hi, welcome to this edition of Get Found Fast for the Glamorous, where you learn how to build your personal brand, enhance your glamour, increase your popularity, become more famous. Using internet marketing tips, tricks, and secrets, we teach you. I'm your co-host, Chelse Benham, and I hail from the great state of Texas.
And I'm Keith Keller, and I'm in Melbourne, Australia. And today, Chelse and I are going to discuss blogging and provide very clear case studies of how celebrities are using blogging to build their brand. But first, I want to give you the definitions of a blog and the 10 reasons why you should use a blog. A blog is a website on which an individual or group of users record opinions, information, etc. on a regular basis. But the 10 top reasons you should start using a blog: to express yourself, to help people, to establish yourself as an expert, to connect with people like you, to make a difference, to stay active or knowledgeable in a field or topic, to stay connected with friends and family, to make money, to have fun and be creative, and most importantly, to promote or market something. And this is what we're going to start talking about today and with these weekly shows, because we want to help you get found fast. And we're interested in learning, if you're interested in learning ways of using web technology to promote yourself and build your personal brand, this site is for you.
Right, Keith. In fact, there are numerous examples of people who have successfully built their personal brand using blogging, but one person soars to the top and makes our first case study of the day, and I'm talking about Lady Gaga.
She is an excellent example of someone using technology to build their personal brand, isn't she?
Absolutely.
In the past year, Lady Gaga was the first artist to reach 1 billion views on YouTube. 1 billion views. She even beat President Obama to 10 million Facebook fans. She now has close to 35 million. And most recently, she was the first Twitter user to acquire 10 million followers. I think she's now got quite a few more than that. She has done this in the following way. She builds momentum with elements of surprise. That's quite interesting. She makes sure that all her marketing channels are working together to promote her personal brand identity. That's very important. She uses her fans as a marketing asset. Very good. Engagement. She encourages them to tell their story and never forget to thank them along the way. She calls her fans little monsters and has a growl motion to speak to them. They share this in common. She gives people something to love, if you can call it that. And then if you can do that, you've won half the battle. We will constantly be returning to these pointers throughout our segments because they are so important. I know that you are probably thinking, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, aren't they just blogs too? Well, they are, but remember, a blog is using a website on a regular basis to post your opinions. The key takeaway here is regular basis. In fact, Twitter is called a microblog because it allows only 140 characters per post. But in addition to that, these very popular and well-recognised sites like Twitter, Facebook and YouTube are also excellent, and we're going to discuss those through the course of the videos. In addition, the differences between some of these lesser-known blogging sites that we'll get to talk about today. In fact, Lady Gaga is using one popular platform religiously to build her brand and engage with her fans, and we're going to share that one first. This one is called Tumblr. So Chelse, why is blogging so important to a social network marketing approach when we talk about building our personal brand and enhancing our glamour?
Well, that's an excellent question, Keith. One of the most powerful attributes to blogging is how Google favors it. And what I mean by that is Google is constantly looking for new content, original content, and it will promote and share this content with people searching keywords that align with the blog content that you post. And this is why blogging is #1 core activity in building your personal brand. More than any other activity, blogging is how you build loyal fans and enhance your glamour. But consistent, fresh material increases your site's search engine rank page position. So it's being consistent in creating original content that helps your search when we're talking about being found on Google. Google robots index your site every so often, and if over time they don't see anything new, guess what? Your page rank tanks. So if you want to drive more traffic to your website, there is no better way than blogging. There's evidence that people who actively blog ended up with almost 7 times more traffic to their site. In fact, a blog is all the website you really need. It will list as a website, and some of the programs we share with you today look like websites and less like blogs.
Amazing. Blogging is just absolutely, rock solid, and it's very, very important. My clients are often asking me these questions about blogs. And I think the most common question I get is, why do I need a blog? Isn't my website good enough for now?
Blogs and websites are viewed differently. I think websites are more, I know websites are more static, not often changing, and that's how we kind of qualify a website, whereas blogs are current, having new content added to them frequently. And because Google likes new content, it can rank a blog higher, especially based on its visits and age of the blog and the linking to the blog. And we'll talk about that in other episodes and reiterate that constantly about how Google searches and how it does rank you. Blogs also have followers and loyal readership base. And while you can have a website, you can also build a blog inside your website. One platform I'll be sharing today is specifically built on that option.
Look, I get this question all the time, Chelse, and this idea of, I've got a website and it's there and I've spent buckets of money on it, but this idea of blogging regularly, and I'm guessing by regularly you mean once a week, or do you mean every day?
Yes, I mean, blogging is done where it can be done every day if you really have that momentum and you have something to say, and or it can be done once a week minimum. And that's more the thing that I lean towards when I talk to my clients or handle their blogging from the company, is that we encourage a minimum of once a week to generate that content and to release that content on the same day.
Okay, so that in itself is a really interesting question. This idea of regular content once a week and releasing it on the same day. It sounds like a big ask, and this is the reason I'm getting these questions. Keith, isn't it just another thing to do? Isn't it just more work? But what you're saying here is that it's very, very powerful. It's worth doing.
Yes, definitely worth doing it.
And it's worth doing once a week.
Yes, at minimum once a week. And as I mentioned before, there's evidence that people who actively blog ended up with almost 7 times more traffic to their site. So a blog can be graphically designed to reflect your personality and allows you to have a stage where you can post multimedia content, videos, pictures, opinions on the web, but in a current, frequent way. And if you want to build a personal brand, blogs are the core to developing that type of exposure, authenticity, and credibility. And remember, blogs are used together in concert with other social network platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you post in your blog, you can make that post in Facebook and Twitter. And if you have video, you can post that to YouTube and across through your blog. So they're all cross-promotional, but core to all of it is your blog.
The other question I get all the time, is, can't I just use Facebook? I mean, that's so simple. Can't I just use Facebook for now? Why do I need a blog? What are your thoughts on the idea of building your personal brand philosophy around Facebook only? I mean, it sounds pretty dangerous.
Well, actually, it's really good to have both, clearly. Facebook is an excellent way to engage with your fans. And, of course, it's so easy to post to. And for young, savvy people, Facebook is a significant part of their lives. Having a Facebook presence is a necessary social media marketing tool. There's no doubt about that. But here's the thing. Google doesn't search Facebook posts. It has limited search, meaning you'll show up under Google as having a Facebook account or profile or page, but you it won't go into Facebook and post what you're putting out there as content like your blog will. It can't see them. So Facebook is a closed community, and you have to be a member within it and set up your page or profile inside its ecosystem before you can start posting there. A blog, on the other hand, can be optimized with information to help search engines find it and share it globally. And it's not an either-or situation, but where having Facebook and a blog works best. So you can and you should post your blog entries on your Facebook page, but definitely having both is ideal.
Yeah. And what you're talking about there is what we call indexing, isn't it? This idea that Google will find things that you're posting, and it doesn't tend to do that with Facebook.
No, it can't. It can't do it with Facebook.
So it can't find content. If you've shared a really cool piece of content on Facebook, Google has no idea.
Right. Exactly. That's
so
right.
The idea of having your own blog, which you're under control of, means that you control the content and you control the stream. Yeah?
Absolutely. It's such an excellent way to put it. That's right.
But the other thing that people are saying, and this is a very important point, one of the inspirations actually for me personally getting involved in this project with you, Chelse, is this idea that we've all got limited time and we want to cut to the chase. So I'm reiterating here that blogging can be a lot of work.
Yes.
But you're really emphasising that it's worth the effort. It is a bit of work, but it's worth the effort, yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the real key question I get a lot, and I'm personally very interested in, is how does blogging help people get out there? And what's the idea around this idea of using a blog to enhance your personal brand? Really chunk that down for me, Chelse.
Okay, well, that's an excellent question. When we talk about how to get out there or how do I promote my blogs so that people know that I'm blogging, this is where you put in, and this is probably one of the technical sides of the thing, is where you put your keywords and metadata that describe what the blog is, and you do the same for each blog entry. So you're going to describe when you build your blog what the blog's purpose is, what its focus is. Usually it could even be within the name or title of the blog. But then every time you blog an entry, you're going to make sure that, because these platforms allow you to describe that particular blog entry with some keywords, that you're going to put those keywords in to help search engine optimization or SEO. This is, let me step back. A blog, this is where you put keywords and metadata describing what a blog is, and you do the same for each blog entry. Every platform we share with the audience today provides a search engine optimization or SEO text box where you put the keywords and phrases that best describe what your blog is about. So when you publish the blog, Google's crawlers pick up the new content as having been put out there onto the web and looks for those keywords that describe the content. And then as people search using the keywords that match your content pops up. A blog entry with the highest amount of traffic finds itself at the top of the search results. So a good, well-written blog that's, a hot topic and using really good keywords will bounce to the top of a search page if it's put those keywords in. And one way to promote your blog is on Facebook. So to go back to Facebook, you can post that blog on Facebook and then go a step further and pay to promote that Facebook post. And we'll talk about that in another episode of this show.
But Chelsea, the reason why I'm so passionate about this product, this process that we're creating together, is that we're really teaching people to do the integration piece, this idea that we're going to teach you to have a blog. We're going to talk about the different blogs available, and you'll pick one that suits you. And then we'll talk about Twitter, and then we'll talk about Facebook, then we'll talk about YouTube videos, and we'll do each individual separate tutorials about that. But the idea behind this whole system is the integration, this idea that you can post an ad on Facebook about your blog. You can tweet about your blog. You can actually do a YouTube video promoting your blog. So it's all integrated. Now, it sounds complex to start with, but when you get this right, it's going to sing. It's unbelievable. And this is what everyone's doing now. They're not only just using one site, they're using an integrated approach. And I'm very, very passionate about this product that we're creating. We're going to give you PDFs, we're going to give you cheat sheets, we're going to give you all the goodies, and we're going to hold your hand the whole way. It's very exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's tremendously exciting. And to tag or segue right into that, one of the best ways we can integrate our blog is, and this is critical, this tip, that when you build your blog, make sure that you're putting your social sharing icons on the blog so that when people are on your blog, they can share it out to their networks and their friends. And as another tip, add your blog URL or web address in your email signature as well. This is another way to promote it. At the end of the day, it's about how often you're posting, and the more frequently you post, the more traffic you will get. But it's that sharing icon for sure that definitely helps and is a great segue from the integration that you were just talking about.
A lot of people ask me, well, how do people do that? How do people get 100 million views? How did Cy get 1 billion views on YouTube? Well, the reason why is because we're using these strategies. They come compartmentalized, but when they're put together and you're tweeting about it and you're doing Facebook ads and you're making YouTube videos and you're doing blogs and they all work together, you can create miracles, can't you?
Yeah, you can. You can actually really, if you're sharing something that you believe in, you have an opinion about something, and we're back to what Lady Gaga, those tips about Lady Gaga and the fact that she adds a surprise and creates momentum, but she also has an opinion. Being milquetoast won't get anybody to follow you. Having an opinion that you can back up can, and even one that offends, as long as you're believing in that, you're talking to your target, then it will resonate with your target. So you don't always have to be the most agreeable person. I wouldn't recommend it. I do think that having an opinion is an important reason for blogging. It is why people have it. It's the first person point of view, and it's sharing your expertise, your knowledge, your experience with other people.
You've said some really interesting and quite challenging things there, because you're exactly right. This idea of being controversial is one of the actual key parts to being viral. And not everyone is a controversial person, but it does work for some people.